Hello! Today I'm talking about when to say yes and how to say no. Right, so we all have been in that situation where someone asks us to do something and we say yes, not because we actually really truly want to, but because we don't want to seem like a jerk. Right? But I want to make a case that saying yes when we don't really want to or don't really mean it is not a nice thing to do. We need to lie about how we truly feel in order to do it. And lying is not being kind. Pretending is not being kind. It's not being loving. And we're also discounting loving someone who's super important and acknowledging someone's feelings that's super important, which is ours. Now, when we're doing this at our own expense, it's often called people pleasing. And the reason this doesn't work so well is because we end up feeling resentful and we end up feeling guilty and we end up feeling kind of at the mercy of someone else. We've got to avoid them so they won't ask something, so we don't have to say no or say yes and then hate it. And we spend a lot of time avoiding and not truly connecting with the people that we really love, because oftentimes these are people that we really care about and really love. And so we want to be loving to both, loving to them and loving to us. And there is a way to do this and still say no, right? So let's talk about when to say yes. How do you know when it's like a total green light? And it's going to come down to your reason. Why are you doing it? So when your reason is clean and you like it, go for it. So when I say clean, it means that you're not crossing boundaries in the way of trying to change how someone else thinks, feels, acts, and what results they get. A lot of times we're trying to manage someone else's thoughts, feelings, actions, and those are the definitions of boundaries. Boundaries are where I end and you begin, and that place is specifically where someone else gets to choose how they think, how they feel, how they act, and the result that they get. When we're trying to manage their perception of us and control that for them without giving them the opportunity to see the actual us, that's not a clean place. We call that kind of dirty. So we want to make sure that our reason has nothing to do with making them feel or think something about us. So I have a story. I was recently asked by someone in my church to do something, and my initial gut reaction was, "Ugh." So I was very aware that I wanted to say yes, but the reason I wanted to say yes was not clean. I wanted to do the right thing. I felt like I was obligated. I felt like I should, and I felt like it should be the right thing to do, and that I didn't want that person to think I was being rude or unrighteous, because oftentimes we consider that a righteous thing to do, right? To sacrifice ourselves by saying yes and to do things at our own expense. But knowing what I know, I did not think it would be an honest, kind, truthful, loving yes if I said yes in that moment. So I said, okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to think about it. And what I did was I went down and I thought really hard about what my reasons would be and decided that this was actually something that I wanted to do and that I would develop the ability to get through those things that kind of made me go, "Ee." For my own good, because I knew that it would be good for me. And I would also like to help bless other people's lives. That's the person that I want to show up as. So after I became good with the choice, with the decision of a yes, then I said yes. I returned and said, absolutely, thank you for asking me. The other thing that will be a green light is that you've considered yourself. If it costs you the love or respect of yourself, the answer is no. That's a red light. If you get to have an opinion that you respect and listen to, then you're considering yourself. And the big question is going to be, do you love yourself enough to tell the truth here? That's going to be so important. Sometimes we find that we put value on other people's thoughts, feelings, and actions, but not on our own. Have you ever been at a restaurant or with someone else and said, "So what would you like to eat?" And they say something like, "I would like spaghetti and meatballs." And you say, "Okay, we'll have steak." We don't do that to other people, but we do it to ourselves. We need to respect ourselves, and we need to step up for ourselves and have our own back. When boundaries are concerned, we need to be the ones who have our backs. It's our job. And we need to listen to ourselves and know that our opinions and thoughts and feelings are important. So the last way that I'm going to talk about today to know that it's a green light is you've actually chosen it. You're not attributing your decision to obligation, duty, anything outside of you. And here's why. It's because when we do that, we are offering our agency. We are defaulting and giving something else responsibility for making our decision for our own thoughts, feelings, actions, and results. And that's not what we're here to do. That's not an empowered stance. That's a disempowered stance where we give our power away, and we want to stay in our power and make strong, clean decisions that show love for us and love for others. So, how do I say no? Okay, get ready. You say no. And I love you. If you find that you're very caught up on timing and specific words and all of these things, chances are you're trying to manipulate how someone else reacts to what you're getting ready to say, and we're getting away from that. That's old you. New you is going to allow people to take responsibility for their own things. So get ready. Heads up. This is going to be the critical skill of being able to do these things and letting go of guilt and resentment and all of the things that go with it. You're going to need to develop the skill of loving yourself after you've said your truth out loud. That's where it's actually going to get challenging, and it's a skill that you can develop. You can get good at it, but the way you get good at it is you practice it, which means more no's need to be in the future. And the other skill is loving the person even when they react poorly by your definition or in an unexpected way that feels really negative. Those are two things that you can develop to feel okay. Because after that, what you get is the ability to be honest. And you get to love you and you get to love them and act in a loving, completely loving way that has a lot of integrity. You get to move past guilt, move past resentment, and get onto things that feel good for you. Self-love, compassion, understanding, acceptance. And you get to increase your intimacy, because the people that we are close with and connected with get the truth. They get the real us. It's really hard to become connected if we're lying. So I've got so many ways to have these great boundaries. If you need help saying no, saying yes, getting past guilt or resentment, please call me. I can totally help you. And in the meantime, I'll put more videos out about it. And a webinar is coming up, so watch for that.